All right, so you're in the middle of OTAs right now.
Yep.
Second year. Restrictions are flying left and right at head coaches. Last year, practice time got cut down. This year, the Oklahoma drill is getting taken out. How does a coach manage to get his team prepared for a season, especially with all these restrictions?
We just got to hang in there and just making sure we have an adapt or die mentality, and that's what we got to do. We got to keep adapting and just try to figure out different ways to practice and get our guys better to go, ready to go and get them better and improve their fundamentals. So we're working. We're actually starting mini camp next week. So we have 2 weeks of the OTA Phase 3, and then we're going to do mini camp next week, hit 3 days in a row, and then finish up with another week of OTAs.
Last year, your first time being a head coach. I assume there was some nerves going into it now that you're the guy. You were under great tutelage, obviously, in New England. What was your first year as a head coach wrapped up in a couple sentences?
Yeah, best way to describe it, I say it all the time, it's like drinking from the fire hose. You're just in it. You're trying to get as much as you can, and come out at the end, you probably haven't drank enough, and you're soaking wet. So just trying to make sure do everything possible to do a better job this year. When you come off of, I was at the Super Bowl. Obviously, didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, but kind of get kicked into the next phase. I'm at a new place. We're trying to hire coaches, evaluate a roster. The off season was a little bit nuts, and then you get into the regular season, and you're trying to evaluate everything and change everything. And it's a long first year. It's one of those years where you learn a lot as a coach, and you learn a lot of what you probably did wrong and what you need to do better, and just make sure you do it right the next year.
Did you expect the drama that would come with being a head coach? It's almost like the society we live in nowadays. No matter what you do, there's going to be drama, right? You beat the Patriots. The place is obviously ecstatic. All of Detroit, Lions, I don't know what you guys, Lions Nation? Is that what it is? Is that Lions fan base? What are you guys called?
I like Lions Nation. That's good. We're good with that.
Did we just start that?
Yeah. You can just claim that right there.
So Lions
we like
Nation,
it. Lion Pride is good. I like that one too.
Okay,
I'm all about it. The pride of Lions. All of
are
us.
excited. Then there comes all this stuff that just comes from left field. It's like Matt Patricia has lost the locker room. And normally, I will say this as somebody who's been in the locker room for a long time, normally when that happens, it means that there's a couple people inside the locker room who have connects to media who aren't exactly happy with the way things are going. You continue to maintain this gentleman-like cool on top of it all. You go through your entire first season, you lose a couple players to injury, then you end it with a 31-0 victory over the Green Bay Packers with some people are saying the greatest color commentator in the history of the game. I
got to be honest with you. We listened to that call over and over in the squad, especially the outstanding play of Matt Prater and his amazing throw, and I would say the enthusiasm and the explanation that the commentator did through that game was unlike any I've ever seen. It was at a next level.
We won't talk about the commentator. Honestly, he doesn't deserve it, but. Some are saying he pitched a perfect game for his first game. That's neither here nor there. But a lot of drama through the whole thing, whether it was reporters kind of getting snippy with you, players, all these kind of bullshit things happening. Was that something you expected going into being a head coach, or is it just like just kind of got to learn as you go?
Yeah, again, I think if you're a first-time head coach, you should expect everything. I think when you go into it, you have no idea. And you know what? I give a lot of credit to, obviously, someone that I worked for a very long time, and his ability to just kind of maintain that steady calm all the way through everything. And what you really realize on this side of it, a lot of times things that walk through your door, I'm looking at basically a mirror image of what was me walking through the door with what I thought was an urgent problem, and sitting in the other seat going, what are you doing in my chair? What are you doing here right now? Like I got, there's 1,000 things going on. So you have just a greater appreciation for that, no doubt.
Have you thought about at all turning your press conferences into just
I think for me, I have enough problems with my press conferences. I'm just going to try to hopefully try to get the information out there.
Something that was mentioned last year when I got a chance to talk to you the night before that Packers game was you meet with those reporters like literally hundreds of times in 1 year.
I think we did 118 along those lines.
That is, so if there's 118 times talking to somebody, and the season doesn't go perfect, and somebody feels as if they are, you're not saying this, I will, but somebody feels as if they're more important than a lot of things, I can see where frustrations happen on both sides. I'm happy to see you succeed, though, and move forward with this. With that being said, brought in a lot of your type of guys, I think. That was something I feel like you're probably looking forward to, is bringing in your type of guys that can get into the Lions. Danny Amendola is brought in. You brought in an Iowa tight end. To the chagrin of a lot of pride, Lion pride, by the way. Another tight end in the first round. But it feels like you're really getting your type of people in the building.
Well, for me, it was my first tight end in the first round. So, I'm kind of, I'm just worried about what I'm trying to do right now. A little bit strange, though, to be a defensive head coach in the NFL, and your first 2 drafts, both your first rounders are on the offensive side of the ball. So, I'm trying to figure out, what's going on here. We got to get some, some balance.
No pool in there,
so, yeah, apparently not. But, no, just... Again, just working through the first year, excited about the second year. We're excited about, just trying to get better. All the players coming back that were here last year, super excited to get going with those guys and what we've been able to do the last 2 weeks, and looking forward to the next 2 before we go to training camp, and then pushing forward with the new guys that are in the building.
What does Danny bring to the team?
Yeah, Danny Amendola and I obviously have a long-standing relationship. There's definitely a lot of love there between the two of us, and history that goes along with it. And just a guy I completely trust, and one of those guys you see in the building every single day, and know that he's the right kind of guy, and he's a guy you want to be around with when it's tough.
I remember when he was just a special teamer in St. Louis, and then obviously they left that city, and he did as well. Then he went on to become this clutch wide receiver in New England, and then Miami, and now he's here. I think great addition to the locker room.
I appreciate that. There was a couple guys there in the slot position through the course of the years when I was at New England that I got real tired of trying to cover. One of them was Wes Welker when he was down at Miami, and I remember it was a game we were getting ready to go, and it was Orlando Mari, pulled his calf in warm-ups. And I'm looking, and here's Welker. He's kicking off. He's kicking field goals. He's returning punts. And I'm still trying to figure out how to cover him in the slot. I remember walking out of that game going, okay, if we could get this guy off of that team, that would probably make my life a lot better. And same situation with Danny. We played the Rams that year, and we were in London, and I wasn't sure if he was going to play or not play. I had to have like 2 different game plans. If he did, we had to make sure we took him out. If he wasn't playing, then we pushed everything else someplace else. And just one of those guys, when you prepare and play against guys like that, you have a lot of respect for them. You know what they can do. You like to try to get them on your side because you're tired of playing against them.
DJ Zed is playing against him right now on the internet. I don't know if you know anything about that. You shouldn't. I will, though. Matthew Stafford. There was conversations early last year about you two butting heads or something. Veteran quarterback, by the way, new head coach. Always a potential situation to happen. When I got a chance to talk to both you and Matthew Stafford the last game of the year, he was nothing but very appreciative of everything you've brought into his life. It was like a new focus for him, and you were the same way for him. You just were quoted a couple weeks ago saying that Matthew Stafford's just like a good guy, and he's been here for everything and wants everybody to be better. What do you see out of Matthew Stafford going into your second year as a head coach?
It's all of it. I don't, again, follow any of the rhetoric that goes on outside this building. All I know is what
he chugged very good, just like Tom Brady, by the way, so that should make you feel even better. Just something to think about.
Yeah, and just in the football side of this, what's really good for me is just, having that relationship with him. He's awesome. He's a football guy. He loves the game. This is my life. I'm passionate. I love football. He loves football. The best part is it can be any portion of the season, in the season, off season. I'll shoot him a text. I'll ask him a question. Hey, what do you think about this personnel? What do you think about this guy? Hey, have you seen this guy coming out of college? And he knows everything about the game, and you love it. It's conversation that just I think from a standpoint of guys that are passionate about what they do, it just draws that bond closer and closer. So it's great. Every single day I'm just I'm blessed to be able to walk in the building with that guy.
I think that's good to hear, because a lot of people have this image of Stafford where he's just this bro, doesn't really care. He got $700 million guaranteed, but it's nice to hear that it's somebody who's from a very hard-working dynasty say, hey, this guy's got it. I think that's good for the Lion Pride, Lions Nation to hear. I think
he's a hard-working guy. There's no one tougher. There's no one that works harder, and he wants to win, and that's what we got to do.
The Packers head coach tore his Achilles in practice. Or no, something else. He tore his Achilles. Does that make you guys automatically the favorite in the NFC North because of that?
For the head coaching race, I mean, honestly, I think even with the torn Achilles, I'm not probably in the best sprinting shape right now. He probably still's got me. We'll have to see when we get to that point.
You shaved your beard down a little bit. What are we
Yeah,
doing?
the off season it goes down. I got to start over every year. I take it down. I start over. Let it grow back a little bit, and then I'll take it down probably one more time. And then when training camp hits, it's on. So you just let it go.
So you just take notes all day? That's why that pencil's in your ear? Is that what, like at any given moment, you could fucking write down some notes?
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to evaluate everything, and I've upgraded there. Why don't you throw me that marker, the blue one here? So I've got the pencil. I've got note cards that I carry around with me all the time. My new latest one is that if I need to write notes, we're right on the table. So I'm just all the time. We're grinding out. We're gonna put X's and O's. It's the good thing about being a head coach is if we need a new table, we're just gonna call. We're gonna buy one, and we'll just go from there.
For those listening, they can't see what's happening. He is literally drawing out an entire play formation on the table that we are currently sitting at, which is a glass table. I would assume this is a dry erase, but nonetheless.
It may or may not be. You don't know. But, at that point, they got to figure it out.